Keir Starmer, should the Rejoin community support him?
Depends.
On what?
If he's going to do anything for the Rejoin campaign. If he's got no mention of campaigning to join the EU, that might sway some people to vote otherwise.
He said that being a member of the EU is off the agenda.
Just off the agenda? Just off the agenda? Or did he say is off the agenda at this time?
Well, let's face it, he's got 4 years, hasn't he? So if we don't win the next election, which he won't.
I do not think
never in history has an opposition come back from an 80-seat majority in one election. Never in history. I'm sure of that. So he ain't going to win anyway.
He might.
He won't. He's not going to.
Over Brexit and COVID, Boris might have just fucked things up royally, but according to the polls... The polls that I do actually look at, I've noticed that Terence, part of the moderator group, shout out to Terence, puts the polls I've noticed in the chat for me to read, and I do actually I do take notice of when he puts them in. Thanks, Terence.
But they show annoying.
Yeah, they do. They
signs,
fluctuate a little weirdly depending on where the polls are coming from. But obviously, the massive consensus is the same, isn't it? It looks like Boris did take a bit of a hit at the start of the pandemic, I think, and with Brexit negotiations at the end of the year. But it looks like he's just fighting back. Just like people just don't give a shit.
He's designed, distributed, and proven the vaccines to be the best thing in the world all on his own.
He's so clever, isn't he?
That's why he's so popular.
You got to hand it to Boris.
It's nothing to do with the world scientists.
No.
It's nothing to do with logistics companies and the army.
We're not even talking about Keir Starmer now. Just on a bit of a rant about Boris. So,
because my point is, if Keir Starmer, there was a Commonwealth, I know it's Commonwealth that always favours the Conservatives, right? But it's still worthy to look at it over time, because what it shows is the right-wing view of the world over time, doesn't it? And you can't just ignore it because it's a right-wing poll. It makes no sense. You need to know what the right-wing or the other side, if you're on the Brexit debate. You need to know what they know or think. And it's a good thing to look at their pages and their polls and stuff, because it shows you what they think. Do you know what I mean?
Going back to Keir Starmer.
Yeah, this is my point. This is the point. There was a Commonwealth poll today that came out that showed Keir Starmer was less popular than Matt Hancock.
Really?
Never mind Boris and Rishi Sunak.
I mean, how bad do you need to be when, going back to the first topic we covered, spunked up the wall, 22 billion failed track and trace, which is Matt Hancock's thing. He's failed. Do you know what I mean? He's the face of that.
Mm-hmm.
And what's Keir done that's so bad? I know what it is. It's a fucking Labour Party, innit? Just scum of the earth.
Well,
I think
that's
we are.
Portrayed, yeah.
I think the Labour Party are still being penalised for the previous leader. But we're not here to talk about Jeremy Corbyn either. Can I give you my standpoint on Keir Starmer? Because he came on board at probably the worst possible time, really, with Brexit and COVID and all the rest of it happening. And I feel like, and I said this to you probably a year ago, can feel that Keir wants to say more and challenge Boris more. But at the time, COVID was running rampant. We'd gone into a first lockdown. It was really serious. So piping on about Brexit would have been bad timing. People were dying. Do you know what I mean? I think that...
People are suffering because of Brexit too.
Yes, they are, but But you have to, the most immediate threat right now is COVID.
And Brexit.
More people are dying as an effect of COVID at this time. And COVID can be, it's a short-term thing, even though it feels like a long-term thing. We've been in lockdown for a year. I'm saying that they can get the vaccine, get everyone vaccinated and put it to bed. Brexit is unfolding on a daily and weekly basis as it obviously all unravels now, and people are beginning to feel the effects, from week to week. 1 week it's the fishermen, then it's the postal prices out to European countries the next. This will continue to snowball.
It will, yeah, but
it's more of a long game.
About it.
He's not.
And he's deliberately made a point of basically saying,
I think it's because of
not
COVID.
Going to say anything about it. It's not because of COVID, it's because he wants all of the old Labour voters that voted Tory to get Brexit done.
To come
he thinks
back.
He wants them to come back by saying, we've lost Brexit, end of debate, job done. Which is right about Brexit. However, what about rejoining them?
The thing is, right,
clearly already proven to be what Project Fear
he would have
was rubbish.
He would have sat down with an advisor and, if you like, would have gone, what should I do? The advisor's gone, well, you can either get on the I'm not going to talk about Brexit train and then bring all these people back, but yes, you're going to annoy and alienate all your Remainers. You weigh it up. Obviously, he felt like it's better to just piss off the Remainers than it is
going to come back.
Than the people that... No, I don't think they would. I think he's got a better... Yeah, he's well got a better, stand, I think, to properly join on the look how you're being shafted on Brexit every day, fucking banging on, throwing it in our faces. Look what he's done. Look what they've done.
Now, you said this was going to happen. Where's your proof this has happened? Every fucking day.
Yeah,
at least you should. One question in PMQ
to do with Brexit.
The day's Brexit news, because it is daily at the moment, screwing everyone over, from musicians to people who voted for it in the majority, like fishermen or lorry drivers, ironically, which I'm one of. It's just...
I don't feel like he's doing enough.
He's doing nothing. It's not doing enough. He's doing nothing. And people say he's playing a long game. You can't play a long game. He's got 4 years.
You can't play the long game if you're not playing the game at all. If you're going to play the game, play the fucking game. Do you know what I mean? Don't just sit on the sidelines and let everything piss by.
The bottom line is he's got 4 years.
I'd like to know how much...
Win the next election, then Labour will select another leader. And it'll be a new stance again. He's got 4 years. He hasn't got a long game to play. This is what I don't understand. Whenever I post something in the group, for example, about it, and say, why are we supporting Keir Starmer? We need to stop it and tell him if he wants our support, he needs to just, instead of chasing these flag-waving idiots who are never going to come back to the Labour Party,
no, I don't think they will.
He needs to get us lot on board. And if he opens up as well and says, Green Party, Lib Dems, SNP, whoever, come on, this time, let's just work together and get these fuckers out so we can change the direction in this country.
The thing is, they can't.
Like Corbyn did.
He can't go to all the other parties though and go, let's get them out. Every party is trying to get them out. Do you know what I mean? But for themselves,
exactly.
They can't collectively do it.
The anti-Tory, if you like, vote. I don't like using anti-Tory because I know there are Tory rejoiners. You know what I mean? But I do see that party as mainly responsible.
It is mainly responsible, yeah, because David Cameron was the one that incited it in the first place.
And to be fair, right, if I was one of you Tory rejoiners, I'd probably be gutted seeing what the party I do actually believe in has done through Brexit. So you kind of got to feel sorry for them, and that's why...
See, I've tried to have this conversation with somebody I know that is closely aligned to the Tory party on Brexit, and I never really get any kind of serious answers. And I think I said last week, every day I'm on Twitter, what are the benefits of Brexit? Can anybody tell me yet? No. Do you know what I mean? All you get is, you flip to the comments. Do you know the classic one is Terry Christian every day going on and on saying, what are the benefits? Can anybody tell me at least something? Come on, do you know what I mean? And you go to the comments because I'm intrigued. What are people saying? Do you know what I mean? And everybody's just, oh, fuck off, give it a rest. Stop moaning, we're out now. Well, no, you were promised something better. And from what we can see, as things are unfolding, which is only going to get worse as everything else catches up. Do you know what I mean? You get the first impact zones first.
So why are you giving Keir Starmer a free pass on doing literally nothing?
I'm not.
But you are. Because you said you were going to fall out with me over this one.
Because I think that people need, when it comes to voting, people need to have complete free will. No influence by anybody.
But that's happening everywhere. Do you think the Tories aren't influencing them? Or do you think Brexiteers aren't influencing them every day on Facebook?
Yeah, of course they are. Well, they will, because they want you to they want you to vote for them. I mean, you as an individual, I don't think having a platform to speak to people is wrong for you to push where you think people's votes should go.
There's literally no lead. Where do you go? There's 25,000 people across the two networks, if you like. You can't have the campaign go in 25,000 different directions.
Then that's fair enough. I'm a little bit more I think I'm a little bit more diplomatic to things. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I can see pros and cons in everything, apart from Brexit.
Look, I like Keir Starmer, right? I do,
and I was really excited.
And I voted for him to be leader.
Yeah,
and
me too.
I did that because I watched him be the shadow Brexit secretary, and I thought he'd done an amazing job. He held the fuckers to account every step of the way, in great detail.
It's the law in him coming out.
He was quite open about everything in his own life. And I thought some of the work he's done is amazing with the IRA in Ireland and with human rights in different countries and stuff. And I thought, yeah, I'm going to vote for him. But mostly it's because of Brexit. Because I thought he held him to account so well, he'll be brilliant as the leader of the opposition, holding him to account as Brexit happens, whether it's at that point in time, especially if it's no deal. But instead it's literally one power through people like me voting for him, and literally switched it off as soon as he became leader and said the Brexit debate is done.
That's all just
being in the EU is off the agenda, he said. And he deliberately doesn't speak about it.
My question is why? Why is it off the agenda?
Because he wants to win the Brexit voters back to the party that voted Tory.
But he won't give that answer. So if Keir Starmer was sat in front of me now and I said to him, why are you not, why is it off the table? He's not going to go, because no one's going to fucking vote for me if I go all fucking pro-EU, are they?
What do you think he would say to that answer then?
Well, I think it must be looking at it from a proper point of view is, although we keep going we're out of the EU now, that's it, that's that. There are still paperwork being finalised and fucking bullshit like that. Do you know what I mean? We haven't just fucking stopped.
Yeah.
There's still stuff going on. So is it because of, at the end of the day, we've got to be completely out?
We are completely.
But there's still shit going on.
Of course there is.
Fucking Michael Gove was fucking over there a couple of weeks ago, weren't he? Asking for an extent. Right, so there's shit still going on.
Yeah, because the deal was shit. But we are out. We are out of the EU. Fully out of the EU.
Yeah, I know we're fully out of the EU.
We've got now as a third country. The government's own figures say that 26%. Exports have dropped 26% because of Brexit since
But they'll
January.
Put this down to early teething problems.
No, the government say, that's what they're saying, yeah.
Yeah, so where do you go from that?
We had 5 years.
Well, we know
early
this.
teething problems.
Yeah, I know.
It should not be early teething problems. of a project that has been going on for 5 fucking years.
I know. So
we always have been better off in the EU.
Who is the MP that is jumping up and down? You're telling me out of 650 MPs sat in Parliament, there is not one that is actually jumping up and down, going, what are we doing? Why are we not
wanting to
rejoin?
Not that I'm aware of. Still got people that speak strongly out against Brexit. The Green Party's policy is still... Well, their policy to me reads like, let's make the most of Brexit then. Now we're out. Let's try and get the closest relationship we can in the single market or the customs union or whatever. And for me, that's not good
just
enough.
not even really an option,
just
is it?
Just fucking rejoin the EU.
Yeah.
It's so much simpler, so much better for all of us. And we could just fucking get on with getting our country back to some sort of fucking...
Have you also thought
nice, good
that
life again?
Say
Say
by some kind of fucking miracle, Keir Starmer comes out next week and goes, do you know what? Fuck you all. I'm fucking well pro EU. Come on, Rejoiners. Gets everybody fired up. Blah, 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 blah. All goes to shit. Everybody, well, we're all jumping up and down. Let's have another referendum. We want to go back in. Have another referendum. We overwhelmingly vote to go back into the EU, right? Yeah. EU will gladly go, okay, then let's chat.
They'll say let's chat, but they won't gladly say let's come in.
Yeah, they'll gladly say let's talk about it. Do you know what I mean? And I think the lesson learnt will be a case of, right, well, I think we should draw up some kind of policy like it should have been the first time. It should have been a case of leave, remain, and then a case of, well, what does leave look like? Do you know what I mean? If you then throw it at the people going, well, actually, this is what is going to happen if you all vote leave. The grass isn't always green on the other side, obviously. So, anyway, we're at negotiation time with the EU, and they start saying things like, you're going to have the euro.
Well, I polled...
Do you know what I mean?
Rejoiners overwhelmingly are happy with the euro.
I'd be happy with the euro.
I would be too.
Who gives a crap? Who gives a shit?
Not me.
We all use fucking credit cards anyway and bank cards. Do you know what I mean? Can't remember the last time I physically took some coins and a banknote.
I don't really think about the currency. I just think about the number.
It is just a number.
I've got 500
and
of
they've
them
just
things.
put a fancy
and I need
figure
520
symbol
for
before
this
it.
month's rent. I'm fucked. I don't think pounds or the Queen's Egg.
No.
I think I've got 500. I need 520. Shit. Do you know what I mean?
That's just it, ain't it? When you think of it like that, does it really matter?
No.
Seriously.
But there is obviously them debates to have, but that's later at the moment. Well, it's not later, and that's what the research group is going to be doing, is literally researching. The first things we're going to do is research the exact procedure to get into the EU as an independent country.
Right.
Right, to find out how we would apply. Imagining we was a political party and we were the ones in power.
Yes.
Right, that's how I'm coming at it from.
What would we need to do?
What's the procedure? What do we need to do? And the second thing I want to do is, other countries have joined the EU in the past, right? I want to find out how it happened for all of them. Did the government just go in, or did they have a referendum say, do you want to join the EU? If we want to find countries where they had a referendum to decide if they wanted to join the EU and decided to join the EU, and then we need to look at the campaign that was to join the EU campaign in that country and just find out the sort of stuff they were doing and saying that convinced the people
that would be a good idea, yeah.
Because obviously you go to campaigns that were successful and you mimic them, don't you? Or you at least use their ideas and adopt them to your own culture or country if it's different for that reason. But we've already gone on to the Rejoin community bit, which is near the end, and we haven't even
wrapped up Keir Starmer.
My point is,
he ain't doing enough.
He's doing nothing. He's doing nothing.
He's left us behind.
I can't support him while he's doing nothing. And this has nothing to do with Jeremy Corbyn or anything else. It's simply, we want to rejoin the EU. And the myth that it's going to take 10 to 50 years to rejoin the EU. I don't buy that anymore, to be honest, because 5 years is an age in politics. If you just look at the last 5 years, we've gone from Cameron to May to Jeremy Corbyn's left-wing Labour getting close enough to take out a majority from the Tory, to the point where she had to buy off the DUP to carry on in power.
Yeah.
That's how close they got, really. I know it was against a terrible PM, Theresa May, but they still got close. To swing from that to 80-seat majority for a pretty right-wing Tory government.
It's horrific.
Is a really drastic swing.
Yeah.
So even if we had a referendum tomorrow and voted 90% to rejoin the EU, I think the EU would want to know that in 5 years' time we're not going to vote another extreme right-wing Tory party in that's going to have another Brexit referendum and leave again. So we kind of need, at the same time as building up support for rejoining the EU, we need the political landscape to completely stabilise, really, so we can convince the EU that we're in it for the long haul this time, and we're not going to send dickhead MEPs like Farage out anymore. We're going to send people out that are going to take it seriously.
That man's
and
violent.
while that's happening, we need people like BLM to pipe the racism down again in this country. And we need organisations that are working on getting PR voting systems, which would really help Rejoin, and make the voting system fairer, really, I think. All these kinds of campaigns are going on around, but our job is to rejoin the EU. So even though I believe in the things like BLM and PR and stuff like that, we need to, like, concentrate on the one thing and get that one thing perfect, while hopefully the rest of that's going on around us with the other organisations doing their work. And hopefully it will all happen together to the point where we've gone back to sort of centre-left in the country again and can have a government that is going to look out for people, not really as much as they could. Just to compromise with the right wing who don't think anyone should have fucking anything. Just far right wing, not everyone on the right wing. So hopefully it'll all slot in together, but that needs to slot in together in 5 to 10 years at the most. But not making the most of Brexit in the 5 to 10 years, fighting against it and highlighting. I mean, I've had people like pouring their heart out to me in emails and stuff, who've lost jobs and family and partners, and even people feeling like suicidal and having to talk to people like that to try and help them. And I just feel like Keir Starmer, the Labour Party, and all the other parties, let's not forget them, because none of them have come out to rejoin the EU, even the Greens. I'm afraid their policy at the moment is still just make the most of Brexit rather than, no, we rejoin the EU to stop.
See, I want to know what the reason is for that.
For what?
No one's saying, let's rejoin. Everyone, let's just make the best of, like, you know.
Well, because at the end of the day, they can see it for what it is. You've got people that want to be in the EU and people that don't want to be in the EU, right? At the referendum, it's 52% wanted to be out, 48% wanted to be in. But every poll since has had want to be in bigger than want to be out, which suggests that there's a majority in this country actually wants to stay in the EU now. Thanks very much.
So none of these politicians, especially the ones that were pro-Remain, are looking at these polls going, oh, you know, people aren't actually that thrilled with Brexit.
No, because they're not mentioning it. And like I'm about to say, they're not mentioning it because it's over. They kind of feel like 5 years have been wasted.
Do you not think that COVID has been the absolute perfect, like, cover-up?
Yeah.
It's played massively to their advantage.
Well, in that anything that now goes wrong because of Brexit, they can say, well, it's because of COVID.
Yeah, because of COVID.
Even when it's clearly because of Brexit.
It's all nuts.
I'm not going to support him or Labour until they just come out of the Rejoin on the pages and that. And further than that, I think we should deliberately hurt the votes of them. I know it might mean the Tories again, but like I said, they're not going to win anyway. Because they're not going to come back from an 80-seat majority in one election. Even if Keir Starmer was God himself or herself. So, with that in mind, Labour are either going to do as badly as they did last time or get halfway back to being in power. So we need to hurt them votes. Because they're not going to win anyway, so we're not stopping them winning. We're stopping them feeling like they're coming back. And that's how we want it to be. We want them to feel like, without the Rejoiners, they're never going to win an election again. But we need to stick together and prove it at the ballot box and do that. And punish them until they say, okay then, we'll rejoin the EU, we'll just give you a referendum.
The thing is, what you're saying there is, it's not just Labour, it's all of the parties
I agree.
So that means a lot of people then, take me for example, right? I, over my dead body, would I ever vote Tory? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So in my area, I'll not vote for the Tory. I'm looking at the Labour, Lib Dem and the Green Party, and I'm going, well, none of them want to rejoin. I ain't voting for nobody.
Yeah. That's what I'm going to do.
That doesn't help.
No, but I'll spoil my ballot by saying, no, nobody's supporting Rejoin the EU, so there's no one for me to vote for. I'll just write it across my ballot paper.
The thing is, you and I both know, from having done vote counting on the last election, that people just tend to have a little bit of a giggle about what's been written on the ballot paper, and it doesn't account for anything.
It does, because in the final numbers it counts for a spoiled ballot.
It does, but no one gives a shit what is written on the spoiled ballot. We were seeing penises and all sorts.
Listen to me, the number matters, because if there's a massive spike in spoiled ballots, right, and we can get a page running or something, can get everyone who's promised to spoil a ballot to sign it, and we can at least half match the numbers, we could say, them spoiled ballots off of us, who wants them votes? If people won't do that, then we're never going to succeed. And we might as well forget about rejoining the EU.
You can't do that.
If everyone isn't going to stick together, who wants to rejoin the EU, and grow and grow and grow and stick together, and when it comes to elections, do not vote for anybody unless they publicly state that they support rejoining the EU. Simple as that. That's all. You don't have to worry then about, oh, who's this in my area, who's that in my area. All you do is you send an email to all the candidates and say, do you support rejoining the EU as soon as possible? If someone comes back and says yes, you vote for them. If they all come back and say no, then you reply to them and you say, then you're not getting my vote. And no one is ever again until they support rejoining the EU. Thank you very much.
So what is stopping
your ballot.
What is stopping you from sending the same email out collectively to all of the MPs up and down the country and getting them all in, collating some kind of spreadsheet on who it is, the area, if they reply to you, because some of them aren't, you're going to get no answer from Boris. Do you know what I mean?
I believe one of our people are working on that very thing right
That's
now.
what I'd be doing, and seeing if there's some kind of like...
Probably they're working on the May ones at the minute, so that's not MPs, that's councillors, isn't it?
Right.
So we need to find out. There could be 5 or 6 candidates in every area, and there's like 600 constituencies or something like that. Constituencies.
I'd be asking, on the next general election, what will your stance be in campaigning to rejoin the EU?
Right now, I think all of them would say that's off the agenda, quote.
So I would go back to them and say, thank you for your reply. Can I ask why this is off the agenda?
And the answer is you get a standard answer back. It's off the agenda. It's because 52% of the country in 2016 voted to leave.
Right. And then I'd be saying, right, and
blah.
today polls suggest that actually the public vote has shifted because we've come to realise the impact of Brexit and what is happening in the country.
Keir Starmer knows all this.
There has to be a reason why.
To say nothing.
Yeah, I want to properly know why. I don't want to hear it's off the agenda. Well, why is it off the agenda?
Because he wants to win the Brexit voters back.
He's not going to say that, though. That's we both know that answer is probably correct, but he's not going to say that. I'd want an answer. I'm being a bit...
But that is the answer.
Coming across all fucking Piers Morgan right now and not getting an answer.
So Keir Starmer just said that, then what do you say in response to that?
What has he just said
to me?
So
Keir Starmer's just said, well, because I want to win the Brexit voters back to the party that left and voted Tory to get Brexit done.
I'd say, well, what about your Remain voters?
So, well, they're going to vote Labour anyway. Because that's clearly what he's assuming.
They may not, though.
Well, he ain't got my vote, for starters.
Has
he got your vote?
Nobody's got my vote at the minute.
So there you go, then. And us two were campaigning for Labour at the last election, knocking doors, giving leaflets, speaking to people.
Yeah.
So, to go from that to I'm not voting Labour,
to be honest,
he's got a choice, hasn't he?
I thought about that a little bit.
He will not win back the flag-waving idiots that left for the Tory party.
No. Then I think you'll always find that the Tories will always have a huge majority then, unfortunately.
Well, that's what I'm trying to change. Don't follow me, follow it. Follow the idea of I'm not voting for anyone unless they are pro-Rejoin.
That's fair enough.
What we need to do is we need to get pro-Rejoin councillors in seats and we need to get pro-Rejoin MPs into Parliament and then start getting pro-Rejoin Lords into the House of Lords.
Okay.
The sooner we do that, the sooner we've got all of a sudden there's a great big bunch of people who are saying, hi, we want to rejoin the EU, please, thanks. Can we discuss this now in Parliament? I want rejoining the EU on the agenda, not off the agenda. You got 4 years, Keir. End of.
Oh my God, are you finished?
No.
Oh, please stop, please.
All right, I will. But seriously, he's got 4 years. He ain't got a long game. There is no such thing as a long game. We need to campaign to rejoin now, and we need to get support in Parliament now.